I'm Brian Shulman, and welcome to my beautiful home, Charleston, South Carolina, on the southeast coast of the United States. Our community is somewhat small Jewish community compared to what I grew up in. It's around 12,000 or so Jewish people. I would say, the community really takes strides through its leadership to make sure that any Jewish person living here who needs anything is taken care of. There's a number of activities through the Jewish Federation to make sure that Jewish life here is kept up, and there's a lot of tangible ways to be involved in the community and support it. Last year, I applied for young emerging leaders to go on a mission actually to Poland and Israel, where we did an immense study of the country, its democracy, its stance with the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, and its just growth as a nation over the past 75 years. To be a true advocate of Israel, you need to understand its complexities from the left, right, and the center. And my goal through the JCRC in Charleston is to really have resources and tools available for Israel advocacy, and to spread that to college campuses, to truly bring that education is a high priority for me personally, and it's something that I'm passionate about as an American Jew. There's a big Israel flag flying outside. There's Israel baseball night at the baseball stadium where everyone is cheering. They had Hatikvah sung there. So currently I'm a board member of the Charleston Jewish Federation, and I'm a council member of the Jewish Greater Community Relations Council, the JCRC. Our biggest priority at the moment is focusing on working to get hate crime legislation passed in the state of South Carolina. So in the United States, there are 3 states that don't have hate crime legislation at the moment, and South Carolina is one of them. Without hate crime legislation, none of that data is tracked. It's really important that all groups are protected from hate crimes. So one of the biggest challenges in Charleston specifically, since the 2016 political election, there's been a rise in anti-Semitism in Charleston. In the political climate we've grown into over the past couple of years in the US, some of the unacceptable things have become acceptable. Whether it's a white supremacy group or systematic racism, we've developed a coalition of partners with different faiths and different groups, and we plan to get as many signatures and many organizations on board as possible, so that we can really get it into the hands of legislators and get it on the ticket to get passed in the upcoming election and legislation. One of the biggest challenges, specifically being Jewish in a small community, is anti-Semitism and the growth of it. So security was also an issue. Not just in the Jewish community, but in all communities where there's a threat for hate crimes. There's an entire security coordination going underway to make sure that people can feel safe. For me personally, it's sad because you need it, but on the same time, I believe it's important at the moment. So our goal is to prevent, as much as possible, these types of targeted attacks that happen in institutions, and to do that, you need a proper security coordination. I believe that there needs to be, education in the schools, Holocaust education, and that it wasn't even a lifetime ago the Holocaust occurred. And I believe the education of this in schools to young people. We have our Remember program, where the Charleston Jewish Federation is run very well to ensure that this education is passed and in schools, and stories are shared. By being in these different communities and being the first line of defense in some instances, or even just that person that needs to bring education or knowledge, that really struck a passion in me, because Jewish life wasn't forced on me. It's something that I chose to partake in, and I feel that it's really, really important, especially today, to really be that voice to bring people together.